What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jump Wave. Today, we're going to be doing a cover of Missy Elliott's Lose Control on the Korg Volca Sample 2 using only the factory samples. This song is in the key of F sharp and has a tempo of 125 beats per minute. Let's go ahead and set our tempo. Now, the first thing we're going to do is clear our pattern by holding down Function and selecting Step 16, All. Now, let's set up our samples. On part 1, we're going to have sample 000, kick thick. We're going to turn the speed down to about 16 and do a high cut around 110. On part 2, we're going to have sample 32, clap machine. We're also going to do a high cut about 110 on that one. On part 3, we're going to have sample 44, closed hat machine. We're going to set the start time at 10, the decay at about 15, and we're going to turn the volume down to about 110. On part 4, we're going to have open hat machine, sample 58. Same thing, we're going to do a high cut around 110, turn the volume down to about 110. On part 5, we're going to have sample 128, bass electric. We're going to set the start time at 22 and high cut about 110. On part 6, we're going to have sample 124. We're going to set the decay at 20 and the volume at 90. And we'll also do a little high cut, about 110. On part 7, we're going to have sample 103, minor stab, high cut about 90. And we're going to set the length at 102, the attack at 50. And the decay at 80. And we're also going to turn on the loop mode by holding down Function and selecting Step 11. It's going to give us a little fake delay sound. And for part 8, we're also going to have sample 103, minor stab. We're going to do the same thing, high cut at 90. We're going to set the length at this one to 100, the attack at 50, and the decay at 80. And we'll turn on the loop also, hold down Function, select Step 11. All right. Now that we have our sample set up, let's begin programming our pattern. So we're going to start with our kick drum pattern on part 1. Let's go to step mode. And we're going to put a kick on steps 1, 4, 7, and 11. Now move over to part 2, and we're going to put a clap on steps 5 and 13. Cool. Move over to part 3, and we're going to put hats on steps 1 through 4 and steps 9 through 12. Turn that down a little bit. Moving over to part 4, we're going to put an open hat on steps 5 and 13. Cool. Now we're going to mute parts 3 and 4 because we only want those parts to come in on the chorus. So we're going to hold down mute and select parts 3 and 4. Cool. Let's move over to part 5 now. And this is going to be our bass part. It's pretty simple. We're just going to put a note on step 1. And right now our sample is playing a C note, but we want it to play in F sharp. So to do this, we can press and hold our finger down on the step, and And while continuing to hold, we press and hold down the function button. Now we can take our finger off the step and we'll see that it's blinking now. And this means that any changes that we make to these knobs here, these clear knobs, are going to be programmed to that specific step. But the only knob we want to move is the speed knob. And by holding down function and moving the speed knob, we can change the note values of that specific step. So these note values are chromatic, meaning that each value is one semitone. Our sample is tuned to a C, so if C is 0, 1 would be C sharp, 2 would be D, 3 would be D sharp, so on and so forth. It also goes into the negative, so -1 would be B, -2 would be B flat or A sharp, -3 would be A, so on and so forth. So it has a 4-octave range, 2 octaves in the positive and 2 octaves in the negative. And now that we understand how to change these note values, let's change this note to an F sharp. So we're going to press and hold the note down. And while holding down, we're going to press and hold down function, take our finger off the step. Now we see it's blinking, and we're going to turn the speed knob now to -6. And now that is going to give us an F sharp. So let's listen. Cool. Let's move over to our melodic part now on part 6. So this part is basically just a chromatic run starting on E, and then it goes to A. And then on step 7, it starts over and it runs from F sharp to D sharp. So we're going to turn on every step here, 1 through 16. And we're going to do our note value changes like we did with our bass. So starting on step 1, we're going to press and hold down the step. While continuing to hold down, we're going to press and hold down function, take our finger off the step, and then we're going to turn the speed knob to +4, and that's going to give us an E. And we're going to do the same thing for all these steps. So each one's going to be one semitone up until we get to 7, and then it's going to start over, and then it's going to continue back going one semitone up. So step 1 was the E +4. So step 2 is going to be F +5. And then step 3, +6. Step 4, +7. Step 5, +8. Step 6, +9. And step 7, +10. Actually, step 7 is where the pattern resets. So we hold down step 7, function, and step 7 is actually going to be -6 F sharp. So step 7 is actually -6 F sharp, and then it continues back up by one semitone. So step 8 is going to be G -5. 9 will be G sharp -4. 10 will be A -3. 11 will be A sharp -2. 12 will be B -1. 13 will be C0. 14 will be +1 C sharp. 15 will be +2 D. And 16 will be +3 D sharp. Cool, let's listen. All right. Now, parts 7 and 8 are going to be our chord stab that comes in during the chorus. So we're going to put a note on step 1, and this is going to be B -1. And then we can move over to part 8. And this is going to be A sharp -2. And part 7 and 8 are going to not play at the same time. So 7 will play 1 bar and then we'll turn 7 off and play 8 1 bar. So basically just alternating back between 7 and 8 in the chorus for each bar. So kind of like this. And that's kind of how you're going to play the chord part for the chorus. All right, so we're done programming all of our parts. So let's save our work. We're going to do that by holding down Function and selecting Memory. And now you'll see that the screen says Save, and we're going to save this to Memory 1. Now, typically when I do these videos, we'll fill up all of our memory slots by saving each section as a different pattern. However, for this one, like we did with the situation video, we're just going to save it all on one memory and use the mute buttons to turn the parts on and off. Again, it's just a fun way to jam with the song. So listen to the original recording to get a feel for when the changes happen and just have fun with it. So that's Lose Control by Missy Elliott on the Korg Volca Sample 2 using only the factory samples. Let me know in the comments what you thought. What did I miss? Which samples would you have used instead? And what other songs would you like to hear me cover on the Volca? If you like this video. And if you dig what I'm doing on this channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.